Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game from the chess history. So this time we have Karl Schlechter. Schlechter played a World Chess Championship match against Emmanuel Lesker. He drove against Lesker and his opponent was Geza Maroczy, who was also one of the leading chess players at the time, Hungarian chess master. And this chess game was played in Vienna in 1907, a massive chess game. Schlechter starts the game with d4, and we have basically the Queen's Gambit declined Tarrasch variation without knight to c3, so the game is transposing to that. Knight to f6, a3, knight to c6, developing the knights, d takes on c4, and bishop takes on c4. a6, and we see some normal moves, pushing the pawn, so white castled, bishop to d3, bishop to b7, capturing, bishop takes on c5, and then pushing the pawn, b4, a very good move actually, so gaining some tempo, kicking the bishop back, and then white is going to develop fianchetto his bishop on b2, so this is what Schlechter played, bishop to b2, and you can see that both of his bishops are very active, and they placed pretty well, aiming the king side, and so is black's bishops, knight to e5, attacking the bishop, so knight takes, bishop takes, and then f4, kicking the bishop back, and then queen to e2, activating the queen, castling, lining the rook with the queen, rook from a to d1, exclamation point, because white is threatening to capture on h7 check and then winning the queen. Bishop takes on h7 is the threat, so moving away from the line of fire of the rook, and e4. And it looks like Karl Schlechter has a pretty decent pawn structure in the center, strong grip in the center. So in this position, Geza Maroczy played e5, and I put a small question mark next to this move. Because right now, after pushing the e-pawn, which was a weak move, black is not defending, no longer defending on d5, not clamping on d5, so that the knight can hop in. Bad move when under the pressure, so challenging the center, but Schlechter is immediately hopping in with his knight to d5, forking everything. Which move was better instead of pushing the pawn and creating a weakness? Well, pretty much anything, bishop to b6 check, rook over, or rook from a to d8. This is what the computer engine told me. But instead of e5, he should have played something like that. e5 is just asking for trouble, knight is getting in, so black has to get rid of this knight. Knight takes on d5, e takes on d5, and this opens the dangerous diagonal for the bishop. So rook over, unpinning the e-pawn, f takes on e5, bishop takes on e5. Well, if capturing with the other bishop, then bishop takes on h7, that's check, and white is better. This is going to be a discover attack to the bishop. So bishop takes on e5, indeed white had a very strong center, but in this position Karl Schlechter played a very nice move. Can you guess the next move of white? What would you do? Okay, bishop takes on h7, that's check, and we see this epic Greek gift by Karl Schlechter, Greek gift sacrifice. King takes on h7, and then forking the king and the bishop, queen to h5, that's check. King goes back, and then bishop takes on e5, and then f6, not capturing the bishop because this is leaving the f-pawn, queen takes on f7, one of the only moves, and then lifting the rook up, rook to f5, and black has to sacrifice the queen for surviving. That's the only defense. Otherwise, if defending the queen, then rook to h5 is going to be checkmate. So in this position, queen to h5, king goes back, and then bishop takes on e5, and this is why Geza Maroczy didn't capture the bishop. He is defending with pushing the pawn. And can you guess the next move of white? Once again, maybe defending the bishop, retreating the bishop comes to mind. But Schlechter going all guns blazing, bishop takes on f6, sacrificing the bishop, the second bishop, for opening the king. And the king is wide open and exposed to white's attack, lifting the rook up, and rook to g3 is next. So queen to h7 for defending, checking the king, and hiding the king, and also defending the queen. So if king to f8, then white could capture the queen. But then a very strong move, queen to f3, threatening queen takes on f6, defending with the queen, queen takes queen, checkmate. And if necessary, white can also play rook to h3. So the king is horribly opened, and you can see that the rook is also cutting the king's escape route. Black needs to resign in this position, so there is no defense, and black played queen to f7, defending on f6, but after queen to g4, only then Geza Maroczy resigned, the Hungarian chess master. Well, Schlechter made Maroczy look like an amateur in this chess game. Schlechter was like the Mikhail Tal of the 19th century, the late 19th century of chess. So in this position, he is threatening things like queen to h4 or rook to h3, and there is no sensible defense. So let's play a random move, then check, one of the only defense, check, and black is getting checkmated by force. So after this move, this is why Maroczy resigned. And if he played queen to h7 for defending the threat against queen to h4, then rook to h3 is pinning and winning. And this is all over, check, and white is winning. So unplayable, of course, for black. So this is why Maroczy resigned. Very strong Hungarian chess master after queen to g4. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.